Welcome to Knitting Nicely. I'm Danielle Chauvet, and today we're going to learn how to do a slip stitch on the edging of your double knitting. This creates a nice professional look. Here we go. Okay, so now you can see that I've got some rows on my knitting, my swatch here, and I've got light colors on the front and dark colors on the back. And in this video, you're going to learn how to make the edges look nice and neat with this little braid on the edge. See that little braid? You can see in my example work here, the stitches are nice and even on this edging. This edging has dark on this side and light on this side. Now you can see a little bit of dark on this side, but it's very even. And so you don't end up having to do another edging on your work because the edging turns out nice and professional looking. And each one is a nice braid. Okay, so let's learn how to do this. So I'm going to use my continental method of knitting, which means I'm putting the yarn in my left hand. I'm gonna swirl it around my pinky, put my left forefinger underneath the yarn, and then I'm going to do a little trick to make double knitting go a little bit faster. And the way I do that is I grab whichever color is right here, the first stitch, that color, I'm going to move that yarn to the back of my finger. So I'm just going to take that yarn, take it off my finger, and then move it around so that it's coming off the back of my finger. And the dark yarn is coming off the front of my finger. That just makes it so that the two yarns are split and they won't tangle. And I can just grab whichever color I want as I knit. Okay, and now there's another trick on double knitting to keep these two separate fabrics together instead of splitting apart on the edging. And the way you do that is you're going to need to twist these two colors together on the first stitch. So let me show you how to do that. We're going to knit the first stitch, going through the back of that stitch, and pull it up and slip that first stitch off. Now we need to purl the next one, but I can't just purl it from here because then the two fabrics will split. They'll come apart. I need to twist these two yarns together. So I'm going to bring both yarns to the front. I'm going to put my needle through that stitch. I'm going to wrap it behind my light colored yarn and then grab my dark colored yarn. Whoop. Grab my dark colored yarn and push it back. Okay, oops, it split a little bit there. Let me do that again. Gotta grab this one before it falls through. Okay. So I'm going to put my needle through the back or through the back stitch, go behind. See, I'm not going through this way. I'm going to go around that light colored yarn and then do my purl. And I purl going clockwise. You see that? Clockwise. Because as I use this type of trick, I want to always be able to go clockwise, and as I do my purls, I want to be able to keep on going clockwise. It just makes it easier. Okay, so clockwise through, pull it through. This first stitch is always a little bit tricky. Okay, so we got it. Now slip that off. Now I just need to decide which color I want as I go along. And for this little swatch, I'm just going to do white here. I'm going to change to dark through the middle, and then I'm going to go back to light. So let's do a light stitch for the front. Go through the back of it. Make sure you don't split it. Pull up that white or light colored yarn and go through and pull it through to the front. Now I need to do a purl stitch. So I'm going to move my yarns to the front, go through the front of that stitch, and I'm going to go clockwise and just push that yarn back. Okay, so you're going to be pushing and pulling on your yarn. I'm going to pull it to the front. Whoops. Pull it to the front. And then push to the back. Pull the color I want to the front. Push the color I want to the back. Pull the color I want to the front. And then push the color I want to the back. Now here's where I'm changing the colors so that the dark is showing on front. So now this time I'm going to pull the dark color to the front and push the light color to the back. See that again. So I'm pulling the front color to the front and pushing the light color to the back. Pull, push. Oh, don't split your yarn. Pull, push, pull, push. You see how much faster this is than dropping the color and then grabbing the color you need and then dropping that one and grabbing the other color you need. And because it's held, the yarns are held in my left hand, I can just move them quickly from front to back, front to back, front to back, whichever way I need them. So when I'm doing a knit stitch, the yarns are in the back. When I'm doing a purl stitch, the yarns are in the front. And it's a very small motion. And the smaller the motions, the quicker your knitting can go. Okay, there's the last one with my dark color in the front. Now I got to switch back to the light color in front. So now I'm going to grab the light color instead and push the dark color back. Pull the light, push the dark. Pull the light and push the dark. One more. Pull the light. Oops, push the dark. Okay, so now here's where we do the little trick to make that nice little slip stitch edge. We're going to slip these 2 stitches, but in a special way. We're going to keep our working yarn to the back and slip the first stitch. And then we need to move only one of the yarns to the front. And since this is a dark color, we're going to move the dark color to the front and then slip that stitch. See that? So now the light color is in the back, the dark color is in the front. They're coming off 2 different sides. Okay, and then in order to turn my work, I just poke the needle between the 2 and turn. Now I need to get that yarn reoriented onto my finger in the right way for the little trick. So now I've got a dark yarn for the first stitch. So I want my dark yarn to be coming off the back of my finger. So I pull that yarn off and then slip it back on with the working part coming from the back. And the light yarn is coming from the front. And now I'm ready to go. So I'm going to knit the first one. And now we need to twist those 2 yarns. So we're going to purl the next one, but I'm going to move my needle to the front of that dark color and then grab the light color to purl it. And like I said, it can be a little bit tricky, this first one, because you're twisting those yarns. Just kind of work on it, get it through. There. Now you can see that if you look carefully, you can see that light colored yarn is going over the top of the dark colored yarn, and it's twisted. Okay, like I said, that keeps these 2 pieces of fabric, the front fabric and the back fabric, it keeps them together. It kind of seals them together along the edge so they don't come apart. Okay, so then now we have our dark color in front, so our dark color is going to be the one we grab and pull, and our light color is going to be the one we push to the back. Grab to the front, push to the back. And remember, we're always going through the back of your knit stitch. instead of the front as normal. Normally you knit with going through the front like this, but that would twist it. So we're going through the back and knitting. And then normally you would go counterclockwise to purl, but in this, we're going to go clockwise to purl. So through the back and clockwise. Now we've got that different color coming, but I don't want to do that color now anymore. I only want 2 stitches of that color. And I've got 2 stitches here, and now I've got 2 stitches here. That's 1, 2. So now I'm going to go back to using the dark color so I can get that little stripe. So now I pull this dark color. It just depends on what your pattern says, which color you need to choose as you go along. And that's all there is to it. Thanks for watching. And if you like this video, please hit the like button. And if you'd like to watch more videos from Knitting Nicely, please subscribe. Happy knitting!